exactly is happiness? Is it the joy that we feel after eating chocolate, or is it the excitement of receiving a gift? Or is it a deeper sense of being content with life? The truth is that it is both. Happiness means feeling good in life as well as being satisfied with life. Happy people experience positive emotions and overall lead more fulfilled lives. And happiness also has a lot of benefits. Being happy increases longevity, boosts immunity, raises our productivity, helps us in building stronger relationships, and also brings the amazing gift of success. But sometimes being happy is wrongly seen as selfish, which is not true. Being happy makes us more prone to help others around us and practice more kinder actions. This in turn makes people around us more happy, creating this cycle of happiness which makes our surroundings more positive. So yes, being happy is amazing, but how exactly do we start being happy? What makes you happy? So the first thing you most probably have thought of is money. And yes, money can bring happiness, but only up to a certain level. Research shows that increase in money will increase your happiness, but after a certain time, adding more money is not going to do anything to the level of your happiness. This can be best explained by a graph. So here is the money and here is your happy meter. So you can see that after a certain point, after we are able to meet our needs, the graph starts to flatten. And this is because adding more money is not going to help our mental health. But it's not just money that we like. In fact, money is just a piece of paper. We like what money can buy, and virtually it can buy everything from books to games to food to technology. Money can buy everything. But that is actually not true. Research by Tim Kasser shows that materialism has a negative correlation with happiness. Being more materialistic leads to lower life satisfaction since you're constantly comparing your material goods. It leads to higher stress and anxiety because it also induces greed. So, money is not healthy in excessive amounts, nor is being materialistic very healthy for our happiness levels as well. So, if not money and food, what else is making us happy? The next thing you might have probably thought of as students especially is grades. But Alfie Kohn's book, Punished by Rewards, says otherwise. It shows that as your grades increase, your well-being and life satisfaction decrease. So high grades not necessarily have a strong relationship with your happiness. But you might say that it is okay to sacrifice your happiness for grades because grades bring us better jobs. But that is also not true. Meta-analysis by Roth and Clark shows that the correlation between your grades and your first salary is very weak. And this link is almost invisible as you move on in life. So, not grades, not money, not the things that money can buy. Then what is next? Maybe social media. Whenever we find free time in our busy lives, most of us turn to scrolling. But this is not actually making us any happier. In fact, research shows that spending just 1 hour per day on social media can reduce our happiness level by 14 percentage points, and that is a lot. And it's not just about how much you use social media, it's also about how you use social media. There are two ways of using social media. One is the active use, where you're actively communicating, commenting, posting, interacting with people, and basically adding the social to social media. And then there is the passive use, where you're just lurking, you're scrolling, and you're viewing other people's posts. You're not doing anything social that makes social media. So this passive use is actually more dangerous and sadly the type of use that most of us today engage in. So we really need to avoid the passive use, which is dangerous. So, an experiment conducted by VidyaDaan and colleagues shows us the differences that active and passive use have on our happiness levels, and it is not happy news for the passive use, because with this graph you can see that the effects of active use and passive use. These are the happiness levels measured before the use of social media, active and passive, during the use, and at the end of the day. So as we can see, the straight line, the non-dotted line, represents active use and it has not much effect on our happiness levels. But the dotted line represents passive use, and you can see that there is an emotional crash at the end of the day. So while using, we might not feel as bad, but during the end of the day, we will feel really bad and really low because of the emotional crash. So you not only should you be mindful of the amount you spend, but also the quality of time that you spend on social media. So it's not money, it's not things, it's not grades, and it's not social media. So why are we so wrong in what exactly makes us happy? This is because we miswant. Our brains trick us into measuring how exactly we will like or not like something. And this is because we are poor at affective forecasting. So we can assume and get an idea of if something will make us happy or will it make us sad. But we often mispredict the extent to which that thing will make us happy or will make us sad. So you might have gotten a bad grade and you will obviously predict that you're going to feel bad. But you will mispredict the magnitude of how much exactly you are going to feel bad. And this is because of two reasons. One is hedonic adaptation. It's that our brains quickly get used to new things. So if you have bought a new car, you will eventually get used to that car and it will not look as attractive as it did on the first day. And this can be also a positive thing, because that bad grade, it won't feel as bad as you probably thought. Also, another reason that we miswant and mispredict is because that we have a psychological immune system. So our body protects itself from feeling negative emotions. So you've been given a bad score on your test that is very important, and you know you are going to feel bad. But you think that you're going to feel very bad, but you're not actually going to feel that sad, because you are hedonically adapted as well as you have a psychological immune system. So how do we thwart adaptation? How do we avoid getting used to things? How do we avoid getting used to that beautiful car and try staying happier for longer? We can do this by 3 tips. First is to invest in experiences and not objects. So if you're ever given an option to pay for a trip that is going to leave long-lasting memories or pay for a new object that has just arrived in the market, always go for the experience, because your body and your brain is going to get used to that thing and it's not going to be as attractive as it was on the first day. In fact, this fun quote by Daniel Gilbert says that the worst thing about a new car is that it's going to stick around to disappoint you. That is, you're going to get hedonically adapted to the car. And the second is to savor your experiences. So the next time you're eating your favorite dish, try taking a photo, try appreciating the little things that you enjoy about the dish, and this is going to slow down adaptation and make you more happier with that dish for a longer time. And the last thing is to practice negative visualization. We take so many things around us and so many of our blessings for granted, but imagining our life without them will really make us appreciate how blessed we are to have them. So remember, if you truly want to be happy, then it's not about chasing more, but it's about appreciating better. Try implementing any one of these tips in your daily life and notice the changes that it brings in your happiness levels. Thank you and stay happy.